So I used to live in Belize, the country. It's a real place. Mm-hmm. Look it up. It's fantastic, it's looked over a lot. But anyways, I used to live there. And Belize is right in between Mexico and Guatemala.
All right.
So it's pretty small, but you can easily you go to either country, if you drive. So that's nice, I suppose. I've never been to Mexico. I've never been to Mexico, and when I lived in Belize, that was my first time when I went to Mexico, and we did like a road trip because there was this nearby town called Chetumal that we heard that everybody Chetumal.
All right.
Yeah, that's the name of the town. It's in the district or the state of Quintana Roo.
Right.
I think. I'm not very good with Mexican geography,
mm-hmm.
but anyways, so this was it's like a tourist town, kind of like Acapulco, but it's like way smaller. It's like super small, but it's like tourist in that sense. Like tourists go there. It's a touristy place.
Mm-hmm.
And people from Belize, they would love to go to that town because in Belize, it's a pretty small country and it's not as developed as other countries. So like if you're looking for things like shopping malls or
that's where you're going to go.
Movie theaters, that's where you go. Like there was one movie theater in Belize, but it only showed like really big movies, You wouldn't really see most of the stuff that you'd be able to find in other theaters, They only had 2 screens. So what are you going to do with that? And it was at a hotel. So it was if you wanted to go to a movie theater, you had to go to the hotel. Yeah, I remember it was called the Ramada Princess. But if you wanted to go shopping and if you wanted to like get a taste of like more modern Western civilization, you would go to Chetumal, which is like it was like a 3-hour car ride to. Yeah, which is for us is like going to Girardot, a town here in Colombia. Like in terms of like how long it took to get there. But it's pretty cool. Like you can literally go to another country in like 3 hours. I feel like that's pretty common for Europeans. People.
Yeah.
Yeah, but like to us, like in 3 hours, like from where you live to a whole other city, it's not as common, I would say.
Depends on the
city,
a whole other
country.
Like, yeah.
No, but like I'm saying like a city like where you live, like in your, let's say from Bogota, you couldn't go from Bogota to,
you need at least 4 hours to get to Villavicencio.
Exactly.
Oh, to Quito? Damn, no. Like if you want to get to another
because we're talking
country,
about going to another country.
It takes 3 days to get to the country.
In a car ride.
To the north of the country here.
That's what I'm saying. So to be able to go from from a different country, and Belize is in an English-speaking country. So literally going from it is. Everybody speaks English. And it's I believe it's the official language.
Do they have an accent, like a weird accent?
Not that I remember. Maybe like a Caribbean accent.
Okay,
and they do speak Creole as well.
Oh, they do.
Yeah, they do speak Creole, and some people do speak Spanish. Of course, because there's like Hispanic.
I mean, it's a Central American country. Makes sense.
Exactly, but yeah, going from like an English-speaking country to like Spanish-speaking country, the Spanish-speaking country, like I think it's safe to say that Mexico is, when people think of Spanish, they think of Mexico.
Yeah,
they don't even think of Spain.
Only Europeans
think of
Spain. Yeah, most of us think of Mexico. Yeah,
exactly. I would dare say that Mexico is the Spanish country because like people don't think of like what do Spanish people eat? What do they eat? But what do Mexicans eat? Tacos,
Yep.
Burritos, like tortas, everybody. And that's what I'm saying. It's a Spanish-speaking country. But anyways, I'm literally setting up this story so much. But anyways, me and my family, we love to go to Chetumal, because it was like, it's civilization. Like, coming from Colombia, from Bogota, like I'm used to like malls and like restaurants, Belize definitely can feel like a ghost town sometimes. Like it's just empty, it's just like there's really not much there to do. But it's fun. But it's if you like quiet, that's a good place for you to live. But I'm definitely like a city person.
Yeah.
And so I like whenever we would go, and there was also like the beach, because in Belize there are beaches, but they're not like really nice. Like there's like alligators and stuff, and so
sounds a lot like Florida.
Yeah, kind of like that. There's like not really a lot of like places that like touristy type of like beaches. And so we would go there, and it was fun because it was like a vacation. You know, you would go to like the beach, or you would go to the pool, or you would go, you know, shopping. And like I remember me and my dad, we loved to go to the movies because there were like, once again, there was like only 2 screens in Belize, but we would catch all these movies in Mexico. And so it was fun. And I remember like I would love to go to McDonald's and like Domino's because like all these things you don't have in Belize. So one of those things that they didn't have in Belize was a Walmart. And before this, I had never been to a Walmart in my life, like other than the U.S. I think maybe I went to when I went to the U.S. once when I was like smaller. I went to Walmart, but other than that, it's not a place that's not common. Like they do have it in Mexico, and because this was my first time in Mexico, this was my first time going to like a Walmart. You know, like getting to experience everything. And so every time I went to Chetumal, I loved going to Walmart. I loved, you know, seeing all the things. It was like a fun stuff because we don't really have anything. We do have stuff similar to a Walmart, like in Colombia, but I don't know. It feels different.
Yeah, it's completely
different. It's a completely different like
the degree
experience.
of like, I guess like availability of products and just the entire Walmart experience. You know, we don't have something like that.
It's completely
like,
different. So,
like Al Costa or something like that, maybe.
I would say like Olímpica.
I think Olímpica is just like any other supermarket, but like in the size of their places, Macro maybe. Okay, no, but Macro is more like Costco.
Macro is more like Costco, but yes. So Walmart. So Walmart was like an interesting thing because not only had I never been to one before in Colombia, I've been living in Belize, and there was like nothing there to do, like in terms of like that shopping experience. So I would like to go there. Every time we went to Mexico, we went there, and one time. I loved going to the toy section because I loved looking at Legos. You know, when I see, because once again, you cannot find those in Belize, and if you did find some, they were like, you know, triple the price. You know, makes sense.
Yep.
But I loved going to the toy section and like looking at Lego sets and like boxes and stuff. And sometimes at Walmart they do these thing where they like the stock of the product, they put it up at the top of the shelves, so you cannot really reach it. But that's where they keep the stock of. So like if they run out of this specific Lego set, they can just grab from the box up there and just restock. Simple as that. And there was this one Lego set that I wanted to get.
Did you shoplift it?
No. No. There was this set I really wanted to get. I really wanted to get this set, and I knew they had it at the store because I could see like the price, like the price tag that says, "Oh, this set is this and it's how much." But of course, like it was empty. The section was empty, and so I kind of like looked up at the boxes, you know, at the very very top shelf that you can reach. And I remember trying to see if I could find like the code, like the same denomination, like the thing that tells you this box is this thing.
Yeah. And
I remember looking for it, and I was like, I found it. I saw it, and I found it. I was like, that's the set I want. That's the one. And so I was like, okay, I can't reach it. I'm small. I'm like probably like what like. I think I was like probably 13 or 14 or something, but I wasn't, yeah, I had no means, you know, to do. Have you seen freaking like American and European kids when they're 14?
Dude,
these people are like,
they're like 2 meters.
They're tall. That's what I'm saying. Like they're taller than you and I combined will ever be.
Yep.
But so yeah, I needed help. And so I was like, okay, what I can do is I can just find a Walmart employee and I'm going to, you know, bring it down. I'm going to get my set. And so in my head, I was like, Walmart employee. What do they look like? And I was like, they have a blue vest, right? They have a Walmart vest. And so in my head, I was like, okay, I'm just gonna need to find somebody with a blue vest. And at this point, I was like, kind of like a shy kid, because it's like, I don't know, but sometimes I feel like in stores, especially like the employees suck. They make you feel bad for like asking for help. And it's like, remember the Smiling Friends episode in which like Alan goes to like the store to like buy paper clips. And there's like this dude working. I gotta send you the clip. And there's like this dude working. And the dude working gets mad because he's like working. He's like stocking, and he like gets mad that a customer is asking a question about like the store. And so I feel like sometimes employees do that. And so I was like a shy kid. I didn't want to ask. Didn't want to disturb anybody, you know, that were trying to do their job. And so I was like, okay, I'm just gonna find the first person I see with a Walmart blue vest. I'm gonna ask them, hey, can you bring down the set? And so I walk out of the aisle to like try to see who's nearby. and I'm trying to find somebody with a blue vest. I don't see anybody with a blue vest. And then in the distance, I see this girl, and she has a blue vest. And so immediately I just go, like, yeah, like not running, but I start like heading towards him, passionately. In the what's the word? Intentionally. I was walking. Yeah. And so that I could see him, and I'm like, I'm going to talk to them because they have a blue vest, and I'm like, hey, like, I need help, getting something. Like I need help, getting this product. She's like, yeah, sure. What is it? And then I'm like, yeah, it's just up there in the shelf. And it was at this moment that I realized that I'm talking to this person that's like a short person.
Yeah.
Not somebody with dwarvism, but like
not a midget?
Pretty short.
Okay.
Yeah. And I didn't notice because in the distance they look tall. Look pretty.
Yeah.
I'm not pretty tall, but they look normal. And so here I am asking this employee to like, hey, can you like help me reach the thing that's very, very up top? In that moment, man, I'm just like a freaking jerk. Because I just saw the first person I see with a blue vest, I'm going to talk to them.
But I mean, she could have told others, like other employees.
And she did. That's what she ended up doing. But it's like, imagine you're like working your job. You're like, I don't know, 5 hours in, and you're stalking. And, you were like, maybe you're insecure about your height and stuff.
And then this guy
and then comes this kid. Hey, can you like help me reach the top shelf?
Yeah.
And it's like, oh my god.
And so she called someone else, right?
And so she like looked at me, and then she looked at the top shelf, and then she looked at me. She was like, sure. And then I stood there. She's like, I'll be right back. And then I'm there realizing what a horrible person I am.
You are, yeah.
And then she had somebody else help.
How long did it take? Like how long were you there pondering your decisions?
Well, what felt like an eternity. I'm clearly still, shook about it because I'm still thinking about it. Like how the one time I asked, a short person to like help me reach the top shelf. I did the worst thing you can do.
Tall people and their oppression.
I wasn't even that tall at the time. I just like she looked pretty. She looked normal. Okay, that's mean to say. She looked average height. She looked average height from the distance. And I just saw a blue vest and I was like, well, that works for me. That works for me. Yeah. And I'm like, as I'm talking to her, I'm like, she's short. She's not gonna be able to help me. What's she gonna do? Like even if she like gave her like a
ladder,
piggyback,
or
something. Even if I help her, we're still like. But yeah, that was one of my memories from Walmart in Mexico. And yeah, I never went back to Mexico by car. Well, no, that's a lie. But I remember that the last time. But I remember the last time I went to Chetumal, I was like, I'm never going to be to Mexico by car again. Next time I come here, it's going to be by plane. And, yep.
Have you ever been back to Belize after you left?
No. I left. We should. I still have friends there, and it'd be fun to like see. It really is a nice place. It's like a nice like place to go to, and that was like one country I really enjoyed living at, and so it was fun. There's definitely things I missed. There's a huge Asian population there. Huge. There's so many Asians because most of these people, they come from Taiwan or whatever.
Oh, okay.
And they like
South Asian.
I guess like yes,
I think.
I believe. Yeah, Taiwan,
Yep. Continue.
And so they come from their countries and they like buy shops here. Like most of the supermarkets here are Asian owned and like restaurants Asian owned. There's a huge Asian population here. And so like most of my classmates, they were from Asian countries, or Asian descendant. It's a very I wouldn't say minority at this point because it's not even minority because like they do take a pretty huge amount of the population. But yeah, that was a fun thing, and that reminds me of another story. But before we get into that, I'm Emmanuel.
I'm Brayan,
and we are your hosts of
Your Mom Plays Mario Kart podcast.
Of this beautiful podcast called Your Mom Plays Mario Kart, and today we're just going to be talking. We're just going to be chatting. Our last two episodes were interviews of these two artists from here. From Bogota.
Yeah, from here, from Colombia.
And yeah, those were good conversations. But today we just want to, you know, just chill, just hang out.
Yep.
And because we definitely planned this, and we definitely did not have like nothing planned for this. So that's it was intentional. But yeah, I guess now we can talk about my part of my. Now that you remind me of like my experience in Belize. So in Belize, I went to high school. I did 8th grade, and I did my freshman year of high school. I did it in Belize, and so Belize actually has a really I went to this really nice school. It was split into two sections called elementary school and high school. It was literally called Belize Elementary School and then Belize High School. And yeah, they were not very creative.
Yeah. That's what I was thinking. Yeah,
they were not. There was even a competition to like rename the school. And this is like later on. Later on, they had a competition like, hey, you can submit a name, and if you win, we're gonna give you like $600. And I remember me and my dad submitted like our pitch for the name, and I think they never did anything with the contest. Like they just decided to ignore it.
Do you think the schools are still called like that?
They're still. I know they're still called like that. Yeah.
Nice.
But anyways, that's just a parenthesis. But at this school, it was very American. It was a very American school, in the sense of like the classes, like the classrooms. It literally looked like just how you see on movies or on TV in terms of like classrooms and like how the schedule worked. The school itself did not look like that. It was, of course, like Belize is kind of like an island type of thing. It's a very hot climate, so you can imagine how the school looked like.
Yep.
But it was a good education, I'll say that. And so it was a nice place, and most of you had like teachers from different parts, and so like you had Hispanics, you had whites, because Belize is a very diverse country that way. And so for example, we had like teachers from different countries. You had teachers from Mexico, you had teachers from Puerto Rico, Jamaica, Taiwan, and this is where my story begins. I had this teacher my freshman year. They made you take Mandarin.
Oh, right.
It was a class, and like for example, freshman year you had to take Mandarin. Sophomore, junior, and senior you could choose between Mandarin or Spanish.
Okay.
But the first year you had to do Mandarin.
Yeah.
And I was like, fine, because I don't know, because I guess I will say that I guess it's a language that could be useful, because once again, considering the amount of the population that live there that do speak the language. And so my teacher, I had this teacher, her name was, or is, I don't know if she's dead, Miss Shu. So just like shoe, like what you wear on your food, that's what her name sounded like.
Shu.
Yeah, but I think it was spelled differently, of course. But this woman, she just had it out for me. She did not like me. I will say I was definitely like a bit of a rowdy kid in freshman year. I had this friend named Simon. Shout out to Simon. And we played off of each other so much. Like we vibed, and we definitely like got into a lot of trouble together. Like I remember we sometimes watched Family Guy during class, or we would just play Club Penguin.
Nice.
And that was just
total gangster stuff. Total bad guys.
I know, real bad boys. We played Club Penguin during IT class.
Who cares about stabbing your friends at school? You guys play Club Penguin? That's gangster.
Yeah, we played with lives, but in a whole different like sense of like But yeah, so me and him, we built up a sort of like a reputation type of with like the teachers. But this lady, from the get-go, she just did not like me. She did not like fun. And she just was like very like, I know that Asian people get a rep for like being strict, and sometimes that might be true. And this scenario, it was. She was just very strict, and I was like, I don't want to learn Mandarin because I don't feel like encouraged. I feel like you're being a terrible teacher. Like you're not making me want to learn the language, and I'm trying my best, type of thing. And it's annoying. And so she just had it out for me. Yeah, but everybody else, everybody else seemed to like her, and she was like super nice to everybody else. But with me, she just made her, she just made me her enemy.
Yeah.
And the thing is that she was also the art teacher.
Oh,
and
crap.
So I wanted to do art class because I like art, and so, but she happened to be the art teacher. So then I was like, well, I'm stuck with her twice. Like I have to see her like 2 times a week, and I remember one time we were like doing an activity or something, and she was pretty strict. Like, I remember one time we were like, hey, can we like listen to music like while we're working on the art project? She was like, no, we will not listen to music. And I was like, cool. And then we just sat in silence working on whatever art project we were working on. And then there was like this person that was done with their project, and she asked him, hey, can I like play some music on my laptop? She's like, yeah, sure. And then I got done with my project. I was like, hey man, like, can I like play music out? Yeah, can I listen to some music? And I went up to her and she was like, you know what? Like, go to the office, to like the main office, and like if the school coordinator says it's okay, you can do that. And I was like, nice. And so I went to like the main office, and I answered. I was like, hey, so like we're in class right now, and we're in our class, and we're like done with the project. And like the teacher was like, hey, like if we're done, she like sent me to ask you guys if we could play music, like if I could play some music. And they were like, yeah, I see no problem with that. There were two teachers in there. There was this teacher, was this black lady, very intimidating, very, very intimidating. I think she was like the junior year or senior year like PE teacher or physics, but I just know that this lady scared me. But she was like pretty chill. Yeah, go ahead, man. And it was like the school coordinator, and so they were both of them in the room when I asked. So both of them were like, yeah, I don't see why might not, type of thing. And so I was like, nice, cool, bag secured, really cool. And so I went back to the classroom, and then I started playing my music because they said it was okay, so there was no problem. And then Miss Shu just gets really upset with me. I was like, what are you doing? And I'm like, what do you mean, what am I doing?
The accent is on point.
It's like, what are you doing? It was like, I'm playing the music. It's like, who
told you could do that?
Yeah, who told you could play music? I'm like, I'm like, you said if I went to the office and they said yes, it was fine. And she was like, no, it's not. And she like gets mad, like she's like really pissed. Okay. And she like takes me to the office, and she's like, this boy lied to you.
Back to the same office that you had just gone to.
Back to the same office, and he's like, this boy lied to you. Like he said that that you just started playing music in my class, and he's like loud and such and such and such, and he lied and like stuff, because I never said that he could do that. I never said that he could play music if he asked you guys. I never said that. Like she completely like lied about the entire like she like changed the story because like, she thought that I don't know, I just started playing music because whatever. I don't even know what she was thinking. But the point is like it was a trap. It's a trap. It was a trap. She got me, and then she like turned and twisted the story. They bought her story, and so they were like, that was like really wrong of you. And I'm like, but she told me she like if I asked, it was fine. And
how about your classmates?
What?
How about your classmates? Like, couldn't you have just told them, hey, ask my classmates? Like, they'll tell you.
I think I did, but it just didn't matter. It just didn't matter at this point. And so my school had this system of merits and demerits.
Oh, crap.
So, like, if you did a good thing, like if you, I don't know, kiss someone's butt or something, they would get a merit because, you did a good thing. You're a good student. You get a reward. You get rewarded. And if you're a bad student, you get a demerit. And I believe it was, if you got 3 demerits, you got detention. So that's how the school system, like the reward system worked. And this teacher, she was mad. And so she was like, here's what's going to happen. I'm going to give you 2 demerits. And then the school coordinator, she's going to give you 2 demerits.
Oh, crap.
And then because the other teacher was there, she's going to give you 2 other demerits.
All right.
Because you lied to all 3 of us. And I was like, what are you talking about?
Dude.
And so she like the other teacher, she got everybody in that room to give me a demerit. I think she even got the principal to give me a demerit. Like, because apparently like it was that big of an offense, to like what I did.
Yeah.
And so I broke the school record, and I got 6 demerits at once.
Day. Yeah.
In one action, I got 6 demerits.
Nice.
And from that day on, I swore my my revenge on Miss Shu. And I like to tell you that I did something, but I never did.
Miss Shu, if you're alive, if you're hearing this, we're coming for you.
Oh my God, I just hit the mic so loud.
We're coming for you.
But this means that I was fricked. Because that meant like you get a detention with 3 demerits. I got 6. I think I even got more than that. Because I think I already had like 2.
Detention is what, like 1 day sitting with Miss Shu or something?
Here's the next part of the epilogue of the story.
Epilogue, yeah.
I remember like I got in trouble because I got like the 6 demerits like in the school. And I was like, I broke a record. A win is a win, you know? A win is a win. I broke a record. And I would not be surprised if I still hold that record at that school. And I remember I was like, the way detention worked was they held it every once in a while. So it wasn't like a every week thing. So I would say like every month or so, they would like hold a weekly detention. So like I think the way it worked, it was like community service type of thing. So yeah. But the point is like every once in a while, they would like send you, I guess like, a paper that said you're like cited to detention. You have to be here these dates and like serve your detention these dates. It was weird like that, and so that meant that I wasn't gonna receive my detention immediately. I was gonna receive it somewhere down the road whenever they chose to give it to me. But I had like that. It was like I had that sentence. I just didn't have to serve it right away.
Yeah.
And so I remember I'm in trouble, but I remember I didn't tell my parents because it was like First of all, I didn't do anything wrong. Second of all, I'm not going to serve it right now. So it's like, it doesn't matter.
Yeah.
And so I didn't tell him. I think like 3 months went by and I finally got that letter that said like, hey, you got to serve. It's pay up time. You gotta serve your detention. And that's when my parents were like, what is this? I was like, oh, it's a detention. And I was like, what do you mean? Like, what do you mean you got detention? I was like, yeah, like, and then I told them the whole story then. And I was like, why didn't you tell us then? Why didn't you tell us back then? I was like, because I didn't do anything wrong. I was wrong. Like how it wasn't going to affect your life. It wasn't going to affect my life at the moment, but whatever. And so in the end, my parents were like, they were not mad, but they were not happy. They were like, whatever. Like, just.
Yeah, at this point, just go and do your detention.
And so this detention, I realized that the school liked to do this thing that every time they had an event or something, they would send out detentions so that the event, like setting up the chairs, like everything for the event would be set up by the people in detention. So basically the school waited to like have slaves to like do all the things for them, which is pretty boss. It's pretty boss. Like they had free labor because they didn't have to like
pretty boss,
have the teachers
money,
do it.
Pretty gang money.
Yeah. And so I remember that our job was to like set up for the math Olympiads and like the gym at the big gym. We had to like set up everything, put up chairs and stuff. And I served my detention with my friend Simon because he had like a bunch of demerits as well. And so I was not alone, but that was our job. And I remember I had to mop the entire gym for the math Olympiads. And the whole time I thought of Miss You. And yeah, that's it.
That's it.
That's the story.
What are your current feelings towards Belize High School, Belize Elementary, and Miss Shu?
I really did like the high school. I had some really nice high school experience my freshman year. It was fun. I really did like the school. The school was pretty cool. It had some pretty cool concepts. For example, we had this thing called a meal card. So, for example, the way this worked was the school had like a cafeteria, like a lunch, like a little shop where you could buy like pizza or stuff like that. But they didn't take money. At the school assigned you a card. It had your face and your name in it, and it had a code. And so what you did is at the start of the week, and when you were in elementary school, every morning you could like deposit money into your account. So there was like this person in your class who would deposit money. So like, let's say I deposited $3. I would give it to the treasurer of my class, and he would deposit it into my account. Yeah. And so with my card, I could buy food at the cafeteria, or I could press in my code in the machine, and then it was like a debit card.
Nice, I like that.
It's a pretty cool concept. It's a pretty cool concept because then you didn't have to like handle money.
It reminds me of what used to happen at the summer camp I used to work in Canada. Like kids were not allowed to use money. Like they could bring it, but they had to give it to their counselors, and the counselors would put it into their accounts. And so if kids were like, "Yo, I want a caramel," or "I want this candy," well, just going, I don't know, like get it from
exactly. And so
money.
like it was pretty cool because it was like a debit card, and so that's how it worked. And in elementary school, it was every morning, but in high school, it was every Monday morning. That was when you could only deposit money.
Only
so, for
Mondays.
example, if only Mondays morning. I guess it was to like an incentive. Like, it was sort of an incentive to like help kids like budget for the week, because like in elementary school you could put in money every day, but in high school it was Monday, and so. But I like the whole like meal card system because it was like
I like that.
Yeah, like it was pretty fun because you didn't have to handle money.
I think
that was the cool thing about the school.
To an extent, it could actually even reduce, like, I don't know, like, for example, like, I remember that in school, like, the school you and I went to, like, with Shalom, like, I heard of cases where people were being bullied, so they would give their money, you know, like, hey, kid, give me your money or I'm gonna beat your ass. And that
you did that to me a couple times.
I did not. I declare myself
I've told
innocent.
I've told this story that, like, I would give you part of, like, my
for protection.
Because I was like, it was like for protection.
As it
I was
should
like,
be.
I remember this one time I was eating this lollipop, and you wanted it, like you wanted to, like, I don't know, just like take a lick, you know, something. And I was like, I don't really want to. Like in my head, I don't really want to, but I was like, I handed it over. That sounds so bad.
That's exactly
bro just
how
wanted
it works.
a lick. Bro just wanted a lick, and I handed it over.
That's how you are. Sometimes a person
and then I had a sore throat the next day. Yeah, but yeah, the meal card system is pretty cool. I did like it. I thought it was really cool. For example, the school had clubs too. So I remember in elementary school, I was in the Lego club.
There was a freaking Lego club?
Yeah, so it was it was fun. Like we had like competitions to like build things.
That's nice.
And then in high school, I was in the robotics club. And so that was fun because we had like this thing, robot fights.
Yeah.
And so, like,
nice.
And so like we used like this I guess like learning starter robot called the M-Bot, and we what we would do is we would attach balloons to it and like spikes, and so the goal of the game, they were like little cars.
Yeah.
So it would just like
you were supposed to pop. That reminds me of one of Mario Kart's games, like one of Mario Kart's mini games.
Literally, yeah, pretty much like that. And so we used to do that. There's footage of me, and I'm gonna play this on the video of me playing with one of the robots because we had like a presentation one day, like an open day type of thing.
Yeah. And
the robotics club showcased some of what we did. And I there's a video of me playing with like the robots. I'm gonna put it up there. But then the school had clubs, so that was fun. There was a yearbook. There was and this is like weird stuff for like us, you know, South Americans. This is like completely different. Yeah.
South Americans.
Like, yeah, like I'm thinking people in the US are like, this is pretty normal. Like, but no, to us, this is like, you know, the pinnacle of education.
Yeah, it sounds really, really fancy. Actually,
I think it was like objectively the best school in the country because it was pretty well known. Like a lot of politicians, you know, they would send their kids to that school.
Was this school in the same place you told us about? Quichumadre, something like that?
No, Chetumal is in Mexico.
Ah, right.
This was in Belize City.
That's my the name of the capital?
You would think so, but it was the capital, but because of like hurricanes and stuff, it will always get destroyed. So they moved it to this other city called Belmopan. But Belmopan is like it's like smaller. It's like if Girardot was the capital.
I would not like to be Colombian.
And the only reason they moved it was because of the hurricanes, because it's a little bit more up in the mountains.
There's something about that, like regarding to, you know, like some countries used to have capitals in the past and now they're different. I never understood why. Apparently coastal capitals, when it comes to like conflicts or wars, those are the first cities that get like invaded, and so countries fall really easily after that. Probably happened the same thing with whatever thing you were talking about. Belize City.
But I believe that what they did was because of the hurricanes.
I mean, I guess
because Belize, because like the hurricanes. But I remember one time my dad lived through a hurricane in Belize City. Bro slept through it. That was fun. Yeah, but he was telling me that one of his coworkers, they fled the city to go to this other city up in the mountains, and the hurricane just went up there. Like it literally just went up there. Yeah, and it just blew the roof off from the house or
That's-
like the hotel he was staying
That's
there.
wild. I've never been
Yeah.
like through one of those like natural disasters. The closest thing I've been
Yeah.
to has been like hailing, I guess, here in Colombia,
Yeah.
and that's I'm like earthquakes and stuff, but nothing like that.
Yeah,
And,
yeah.
and then I remember when you told me about the snowstorm or ice storm in Oregon.
Yeah, I've there's been a couple of things, and like in Belize, there was a tsunami alert, and
There
I
was?
lived like, yeah. Let me tell you this, bro. I was like going into full lore of like my time there. So there was like a tsunami alert. One day we were watching TV with my dad, like and my family. We were on the couch, and like in the living room, and we feel it shake. You know, I was like, "Are you doing that?" It's like, "No," and we checked, and it was like an earthquake. It was like a small earthquake. But not. It was not in Belize, but it was like in like an island, kind of close, but it was like in the sea. So it's like,
The earthquake,
you know,
was
something
on the
to
sea.
be, yeah. So something to be careful of, you know, because that's what a tsunami is. You know, earthquakes happen in the sea and whatever. But I was like, whatever, it's no big deal. And then we went to bed, and then I'm laying there, and my house was like on a second story. So like houses in Belize are interesting because they're second story houses, but there's nothing in the bottom. It's just like it almost looks like it's being held up by like 4 sticks
Yeah.
because they do it because of flooding. You know,
Uh-huh.
so their houses are high, and then the first floor there's nothing because
Yeah.
of like flooding. Most houses are like that. But anyways, I was sleeping and I just hear a.
I hate those emergency sirens. They freak me out.
It just like in the middle of the night. And
That's
like,
terrifying.
And I was like, "Yo, what is going on?" And then I go to my parents' room. It's like, "Yeah, we hear that." It's like, look it up, and it's a tsunami warning.
That is
And so
insane.
immediately, it feels like a scene from like a movie, because immediately people are like hopping in their cars, like trying to like pack their stuff. I remember
Yeah.
grab like I guess like I put all of my stuff in my top bunk, just in case, you know, because it was like my house is like in a second story, but we still live like 15 minutes away from like the coast.
Yeah.
So, you know, just like me trying to save whatever. But I take the stuff that I really wanted, and then we hopped in the car, and there are like people on the street like running. And walking. I
Right.
sort of got like from a scene of like World War C or something. Everybody's just like moving like crazy
Top
and like
tier
running.
movie.
Yeah, and it's like it's a really good movie. But just like that, like people like I guess just the panic. Like there weren't like people breaking stuff or stuff, but everybody was just like running. Like,
I mean,
you
it
know,
makes sense.
hustling.
Dude. Like an alert, it's not like because here's the thing. Like, do you know like Amber Alerts?
Yes.
Before I went to the States, like before I traveled that much, like I used to know what it was, but I knew what it was, but I never actually experienced it. And when I was in Canada, I think I was in Canada, and also when I was in Salem, my phone just like went off, like my iPhone, and it just started like making that ugly ass sound.
The Amber Alert. I hate it. One time I had a headphones on. It's just like.
And so when it showed, then you start feeling like this is
Panic.
This is an alert to let you know that something's going on, and then you start feeling it like, damn, I could die
because
right
like
now.
for example like a nuke alert, it's just the same.
Yeah,
Like it's just as the same as an Amber Alert.
wasn't there a nuclear?
There was a test
on Hawaii.
There was a test recently. No, there was well, that did happen where I think one time in Hawaii there was like a mist, like somebody accidentally sent out the alert, but it was fake. But recently they had a test here in the U.S. where they were like, "Hey, we're gonna do a test of
Like a
our
drill.
alert system. Yeah, we're gonna do a drill." And so they did it. I remember that, like the phone going off. It was like beep, super loud.
Yeah.
Really annoying. But anyways, so people were running. People were panicking, and our landlord, my dad, was like, he was a friend of the family. Like I was best friends with his son, so we were like, we're friends with him. And he owned an AC company, and he had he had an apartment building where his office was for his AC company, and because Belize is like it's not a city, buildings are small. They're like all the buildings are like really really small, but this apartment building was like maybe 6 stories, so it was like the tallest thing to be found nearby, you know. Okay, so the landlord he had like this. He said, "Hey, you guys can like come up here. We can like ride out the tsunami here," because it was like a tall building. And so I remember we were heading there, and my dad, I guess he like saw as we were driving there. It was like probably like a 5-minute drive. As my dad was driving there, I think there was like this lady he knew from like church or something that lived nearby. And he was like, we gotta check if she's okay. And I'm like, what do you mean? I was like, don't try to be a hero.
Dude, like,
I'm
we're
like,
dying. Yeah, like we're gonna die.
Like,
what do you mean we're gonna check on
and
that
it's like,
girl?
if we get like, because like this, how are you going to check on this old lady, which is like, pretty selfless of him, I guess.
Yeah.
Did
you guys
but
go?
me, I was like, I think my dad went real quick and didn't get an answer. But I think later we found out she did it, and somebody else picked her up.
Okay.
But I remember that, just like the panic, it wasn't like really bad, but people were like, this is serious.
Yeah.
And so we go to this place, and we get there, and we're like in the living room watching the news, and there's like reports. There was like this I guess like island, this place in Belize called Key Calker, which is like a touristy spot. It's like an island. Think of like San Andres.
Okay, yeah.
And I've been there before. I've been to that island before for like vacation and stuff, because they're like beaches and stuff. And then on the news they were showing that the water receded. So just like how you see on movies that the water always
like it
recedes,
goes really
the
far
water
back.
was gone at that beach.
Oh,
at that place where I've been to before, the water is gone. So this was like actually happening.
Yeah.
And I remember, and I could still see from this building, I could still see the coast. I could see like, even if it comes like, if like, like it'll be like, this was gonna happen. Yeah. And so we waited, and we waited,
and then it never happened.
and we waited, and then it never did. I don't know. I mean, thankfully nothing happened, because it could have been like a serious thing. There are terrible things, but I think, I don't know why it happened in the end, but I believe that, for example, the water receding was because of a different natural thing.
At the same time.
It wasn't necessarily at the same time or something, but all signs indicated that there was going to be a tsunami, and the alert was real. But nothing happened.
For some reason, I feel like nature's always conspiring against you. Because now I just remember, like, just as you were talking, weren't you in the middle of a tornado last year?
Yeah, no, this year. This was this year.
That was this year,
That's the follow-up into the next story, I guess. I was here in Omaha.
Right.
And tornadoes are pretty common here. You're in the Midwest. I think that there's like this part of the Midwest that's called Tornado Alley.
Nice.
In which tornadoes are just like a pretty frequent thing. Like, there's more tornadoes here than anywhere else in the world.
Nice.
And so, but I've never experienced a tornado before. I remember when I first got here last year, they were telling me, "Hey, be careful, because like tornadoes and stuff." Nothing happened. But this year, I remember I was out, and we hear like this siren, and I was like, like that, just like like a siren. And I was downtown at this time, and so everybody just like started moving and like driving, and there were like people from like the freaking like restaurants, like Wendy's and such. They were like leaving like the store, like the employees were just like leaving because like you have to, like the tornado was coming. And like I remember there were people still trying to go through like the drive-thrus and stuff in the middle of like this
tornado.
whole thing.
You gotta get your grub on. Like, I mean, if there's gonna be a tornado, you gotta get your grub.
But that's crazy. And I remember I was like, I'm going home. I told my dad, "Hey, yo, pick me up, because there's no way I can catch the bus or
right now." Yeah,
pick me up. And like it was just me and my dad. Like we were leaving, like just us. And so, because like apparently the reports were saying that the tornado was like in a town nearby. But it was like heading towards us, and like it was in the main like street that would hit downtown. It was gonna hit like right in downtown. And I remember I told my dad picked me up, and like the wind is like really strong, the sky is gray, and it's like crazy. And so my dad picks me up, and I'm like, okay, we gotta go to the basement, because that's why people have basements here, because like it's supposed to protect you. And so I remember we just grabbed the stuff that we wanted. We like
at the same house I went to.
Yeah, the same house we went to. And so, like, we grabbed, like, the essentials, like, put my stuff on my laptop. I grabbed my records box. I brought it downstairs.
Priorities.
I took down my TV from the wall just in case. I took down my record player downstairs.
The PS.
Stuff like that. I put it down on the floor so that it wouldn't fly or shake, But I took the essentials with me. My dad does the same. We brought down the cat and the cat's food to the basement.
Buttertone?
Yeah, Buttertone. I remember that's when you were making the jokes of, like, Buttertone, butter
gone, butter everything,
gone. Oh, a tornado, butter run.
Yeah, you butter run.
You in the middle of a tornado, and you
like that day,
dude. And it was crazy because like when the tornado actually hit, it was like just like shaking
everything. Yeah,
because the tornado went by the airport, and I live like 10 minutes
away from the airport. Yeah, I remember.
And it was like really loud, and like I would see videos online.
You
was,
sent
like,
me
huge
some on
destruction.
Twitter. It was insane. It looked like a movie.
It looked like it's really terrifying. Like he really did you watch the movie Twister or the movie Twisters?
Not yet.
But the tornadoes are pretty like that's crazy. It literally is like a huge evil, like an evil god, like this big great thing that you can't control. It's crazy.
Reminds me of Max Steel. Did you ever play with Max Steels?
Yeah, I did. Do
you remember Elementor or something like that?
Yeah, the Elementors.
Yeah.
Yeah, no, same. Yeah, that deal. But yeah, and so it was crazy. And I remember I had some food before. Like I picked up some takeout right before the alert, and so I was just eating my food at the basement. My dad was like working on something on his computer, and I just played some jazz on my speaker, and we just wrote it out. Thankfully, our house was fine. But it was crazy because I was like thinking, this thing was like super super close, like it could have just gone by, and like flown, like taken away like the car or something. Like and like the house is not like very like sturdy. Like for example, houses in the U.S. they're made of wood, to conserve the heat in the winter. Mm-hmm. But wood is just gonna, like the
completely
the Three Pigs story, like the wolf blew and just takes it away. So, but thankfully that was we were fine. And so, but now I can say I've lived through a tornado. Would I do it again?
Snowstorms.
The snowstorm. That was. Yeah, the snowstorm was in Oregon. That was like my first time in Oregon. My first time like experiencing snow and everything. I remember that me and my friends we had like, it was like snowing a lot. We had watched a movie the night before, and then we were like, "Well, time to go to bed." It was like a Friday. And as we went to bed and everything, and then apparently in the middle of the night there were just like a bunch of like just like a loud like thuds, like loud bang 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 bang. And this was because Oregon, like it was really cold and it snowed, and in Oregon it rains a lot.
Yeah.
And things get cold, like and apparently what was happening is that the rain had frozen, and it had frozen the trees, and so the trees were giving to the weight. So the trees couldn't handle the weight of like the branches. Exactly. So they were like literally snapping and just falling on the ground, and that's what those banging sounds were. And so, and Oregon, there's a bunch of trees, and in the campus where I was, there were a bunch of trees surrounding us.
Yeah.
And so trees were just falling all night, and they hit like places. Thankfully, it didn't hit any of the housing, but it could have, like, it destroyed some of people's cars and stuff. Because imagine a huge pine tree just falling on your house, it's crazy. And it just snowed a ton, and everything was frozen. Like there was this bridge that connected because there was like a creek that went through like the campus, and there was like a bridge that connects it. A tree fell right on that. I'm gonna put up pictures of the whole thing, but everything was frozen. The cars were frozen. Crazy stuff. And I remember some people were like really scared. Yeah. Because of course, like you hear the freaking nature just falling around you. It's like crazy. And I remember that I just slept through it because I was like, I guess it's just like.
Weren't you guys inside of that place for days?
No. I'll get to that.
All right.
But like I said, like I'm just used to like loud sounds, like I guess like gunshot sounds, just like
Yeah.
I was like, it's fine, like. And I remember this friend from Colorado. This is pretty common in Colorado. Colorado is like a really cool state. It was like, just go back to bed, everybody. Like they woke him up because they were like scared. And the dude was like, I'm just gonna go to bed. This is normal because this man has experienced it before.
Yeah,
this is nothing
to it.
Yeah, he's not. And so, but woke up the next day, like what the heck happened? Because the power was out.
Yeah,
and it was crazy. It was crazy. Like just trying to. Everybody just got into like, we're gonna fix this. Like we had like a whole cleanup effort. Moving things. Like cleaning out the stuff. Trees were still like falling, so it was like still dangerous. Mm-hmm. And like I remember, I had to cook that weekend for the people that lived there, and I was like, "There's no power," and so we had to figure that out.
How?
And it was crazy. like we
Firewood.
used what ingredients, like we couldn't open the freezer or the fridge that much because
you're losing temperature.
It's gonna get ruined. Exactly. So just like quickly grab some of the stuff that we can cook something. And yeah, I don't even remember how. I think maybe we had like a gas stove or something. Maybe that's why we were able to. But it got figured out. But it was nice that the community got together and they helped. But because like power lines were down and like the power was out for a while, and so we had to like sleep and like sleeping bags and like super lots of clothes. I'm gonna put up pictures of that.
Yeah.
But it was nice because the community got together, and we didn't have power for days. I think we didn't have Wi-Fi for like a week or something.
Yeah.
But it was a true American experience, and that was my first like ice storm. And then when I was here in Omaha, we had like this huge, like, I don't know if it was a blizzard, but it snowed so much like crazy. It was like I've never experienced so much cold in my life. Like the streets were frozen, so it was kind of hard to like walk without slipping. I had to wear like super like ton of layers. My friend, our friend Jose, our producer, he's a native. This man was born and raised here, so he's a pro when it comes to this. Yeah. Because like driving on the streets,
he's built for it.
He's built. Yeah, driving on the streets is dangerous because like the carts slid. They skate. They just skate through like the thing because it's frozen. And so I remember that me and a friend, we were going to this other friend's house to just like, spend the weekend throughout the storm. And we skated a couple of times. Like the car did circles and turns, and he was just like calm and chill,
just
like as it was happening. Because like this bro is just like an expert, literally like
I thought they used to put like chains or something on wheels to make them.
Some people do that. That's a thing. That's a thing that people do, but I'm not sure how that really works. But like if like cars have like a full 4-wheel drive.
Oh yeah,
it helps with that. And so my parents were essentially. Yeah, Jose does have, so that helped, and that's why I had him like, pick me up and like help me during this time. Because my parents, my parents' car is like a really low car, so I was like, that's not gonna, and my dad has like no experience driving in the snow, because it's like a whole other level. It's really dangerous. But that was my other experience with like blizzards, and I never seen so much snow in my life. Like everything was like, bam, like snow was like I don't know, like maybe like 7 inches, or I don't know, like it was just a lot of snow,
Yeah.
But yeah, that was my other snow experience. I'm more thinking about it. I have lived through like pretty.
How about Albania? Were there natural disasters in Albania?
In Albania, I think now that you're making me think that maybe there was something that happened. Maybe there was something that happened. But I can't remember. I got stuck in Albania because I had COVID. I stayed an extra week.
I got mine in Spain.
Nice. We got COVID while we were overseas. Yeah, but I was supposed to fly like that in 2 weeks. I got COVID like the week before, and I felt really bad for like one day, and then the next day I just felt fine. So I think it was like asymptomatic in a way. Yeah. Because I generally felt fine, but the test showed
Had
positive.
You been vaccinated before that? Yeah.
No.
No?
This was like 2021. It was still pretty new.
Yeah, but I got my vaccinations in 2021.
Yeah, but like depends what part. This is like early 2021. This is like March 2021.
Yeah, I got them in
like April.
June.
Yeah, you got him after. I didn't get my vaccination until like November of 2021.
Yikes.
Yeah, because I already got it, so I was like, what the point,
Yeah, I mean, I guess that counts. Yeah.
But, yeah, so I got COVID, but I was feeling fine, and then we had to take a test to fly, and so we went to this place, and it was like that really awful where they just stick that cotton swab
on your nose.
Oh, it just sucks. And it came back positive.
Even though you were already...
Frick. I was feeling fine, but it came back positive. And then the freaking medical test place was like, you better not fly because we send this information to the airport. So if you try to fly,
they're gonna get you.
And so I was really upset because it meant that me and the group of people that we were with, we would have to travel separately because one other person still had COVID, like according to the test, but we were fine. And so I stayed an extra week in Albania, but it was fun because I got to, I guess be a little bit of a tourist in the city. And like we went to like this burger place that was like supposed to be an American burger place, and it was actually really good. And it was fun. I did enjoy my time there because it was like very restful because I didn't do anything all day and I had a room all to myself. So I was like, yeah, just stay and watch movies.
But it was
all
just
day,
one day?
listen to music. No, like it was like a week.
Like a week.
That we stayed extra.
Yeah.
Yeah, and then that was my Albania experience. But yeah, I think I guess it's a good thing that I wasn't like actually sick. Because, like, for example, this, like, last year, I got COVID, like, again, and it was really bad. It hit me really bad.
Yeah.
Being vaccinated and all. But it hit me really bad. But I was, it was a good thing that, like, when I was in Albania, I wasn't, like, really sick. Because, like, what would I have done? What would I have done had I been, like, in Albania? Like, what a hospital, Like, it's crazy. It's crazy. Like, think about, like, being in a foreign place and, like, having no insurance type of thing.
Yep.
But that brings us into what happened yesterday or a couple days ago, because we were supposed to record this episode earlier in the week.
Yeah,
but
on Tuesday, so this past Monday here in Colombia was holiday, which means we didn't have to go to work or anything. And so I went to visit a friend of mine who had just gotten better from this food poisoning thingy that she had gone through. And so I went to visit, and yeah, like she seemed fine, so I thought, well, it's fine. And so on Tuesday I was at work, and I went to have lunch before work at like 12. I had this. I eat my lunches at this vegetarian place, and so I went, ate, and then I got to work, and about 2 hours after having lunch, I started feeling really lightheaded, and my stomach was rumbling. And I was feeling like, how like sometimes when you're like, you're going to throw up or anything, your mouth starts like getting really dry. Well,
I hate them. I haven't thrown up in years, but I can't.
Dude, I've really never, like I've thrown up, if anything, like I can count with one hand how many times I've thrown up in my life. Like I'm not a thrower. Yeah, like I don't throw up. Even when I was a kid, like my mom told me.
Thrower.
Yeah, like you never threw up when you were a kid. And so Tuesday, I threw up twice at work. Like I had to stop my classes, and I was like, "Hey guys, like I'll be back I'll be back." And I had to go like throw up and everything. I was feeling really, really, really sick.
Did you tell them? That you threw up?
Yeah, I mean they asked like, "Hey, are you okay? You look really pale." And I was like, "Yeah, I just threw up."
And what did they say?
Oh, I mean,
damn,
like,
brother, that sucks.
Yeah, they're like, sucks to suck. Continue. So I continue giving my classes.
Oh, can you tell me how the verb to be works?
Yeah, how can I say throw up in Spanish? And
this was a teaching moment.
That was exactly, yeah, very, very, very experimental, very I like it.
Method
teaching, exactly. And so after we finished like our shift, my last student was like, "Hey, like I can take you to the hospital if you want me to," and I was like, "Yes, please." So my student and her boyfriend, they drove me to the hospital. So I went there and went to the ER, and they were like, "Well, what's wrong?" And so I told them my symptoms, and they did some testing. I was at the hospital for about, I think, like maybe 4 hours.
4 hours.
Yeah, because
and how long was the
test?
Like the whole interaction with the doctor. How long?
The actual moment talking with the doctor was like 10 minutes. Then maybe another 10 minutes in total of like drinking meds and getting like specific instructions.
What did you do in the in between?
I brought my laptop to the hospital, so I was trying to use it, but I was feeling so bad physically that I didn't want to do anything. Like they injected something up my butt, like on one of my butt cheeks, and once they did, for some reason, all the muscles on my spine started like compressing against the bone, like against my spine. So my back was killing me. And I asked them like, "Hey, is this normal?" And she was like, "Yeah, probably. Like, I mean, we could check you, but like, that would be more time." And I was like, "No, I want to go home." So they made me drink some stuff, take some samples and some labs. They took blood and everything. And so after that, after like 2 hours of waiting, they finally called my name. And they were like, "Hey, so you have a bacteria in your stomach, and it's not too serious. Like, you're okay, but if you don't take care of yourself, it could be really, really serious. So follow this diet, drink these meds, and don't work for 3 days." Like, they gave me an incapacitation for 3 days, which I was really happy about, because I was like thinking, most of the time they only give you 2 days. And I was just dreading the thought of having to work on Friday. But they gave me 3 days off, and I don't work this weekend, so that's technically 5 days off till Monday.
Whoa, that you planned this.
Yeah,
you planned this. You
and
wanted this.
so I wanted it. And so they gave me some meds. I went home. I was feeling really, really, really bad. So when I got home, I showered with really hot water because I didn't know if the pain was from the cold. Because here's the thing. I didn't know if it was pain. I didn't know if it was cold. I didn't know if it was stress or anything. Like, I didn't know exactly where my pain was coming from on my back because I was trying to sleep, like, at the hospital. But the couch, like the seats or the couches were really uncomfortable. And they were freaking power drilling the floor. Like, I don't know if it's not power drilling. How do you call it when like they go against
jackhammer?
What's the word?
Jackhammer, like
that's the one. They were jackhammering the floor inside of the hospital because they were like making some, I guess, like remodelations. And so no matter where you went, like I tried to hide for like 15 minutes in the bathroom from the noise.
Yeah, because we did discuss the possibility of like recording the episode
at the hospital
while you were waiting. Because I was like, the wait's probably gonna be long. And
yeah,
you were like, yeah, it probably will be. It's like you were like, what if we recorded the episode at the ER? I was like, that would be kind of funny because it was like, honestly, we could have recorded an entire episode, and they would still not call you name because that's how the ER works usually,
and even more in Colombia. But there was a lot of noise. So yeah, that happened. And after I got my thing, like my results, I paid. And then I went home. But the funny thing about my time at the hospital is while I was waiting, I was just really bored, didn't have anything to do. And I decided to text my ex. Not like my current ex, like my first
one
ex.
of the previous, the
like,
older model.
Yeah, like first,
that sounds
first
bad.
Season 1.
The first season one. Yeah, there we go. That sounds better. That sounds less
season
demeaning.
1.
Season 1,
X.
the love interest. Yeah.
Because here's the thing. I found not too long ago that her pet had passed away on my birthday exactly. And I just thought, that
what'd you do?
Sucks, dude.
What did you do?
And so I texted her.
What did you do?
No, nothing. I just texted her like, hey, I don't know if you remember me, but I just wanted to let you know I'm sorry to hear that your cat passed on. Or passed away, and she was like, "Hey, it's really nice to hear from you. Thank you," and that's it. So I texted my ex, and that was weird. And
that's because I obviously had never met her because this was before we were like friends.
Yeah,
but like I know that she was like a pretty big part of your life.
She was
like,
a huge
you tell me
part
that
of
you
my life.
text her. I was like, because you haven't talked to her in years.
Yeah, since we broke up, since 2020.
Yeah. 2020. That's like, dude. That's 4 years.
That's 4 years.
4 years.
Mm-hmm.
That's like a whole other person.
And we are different people, like at this point. So
yeah,
that happened.
Yeah, I was telling you that like, it's kind of like because you showed me like, oh, what you know, what you had said and stuff, and like the interaction, how it went, and it was just like it was bittersweet in the sense of like it's sweet that, you know, like it was nice that you like, hey, you can like still like talk with this person, like I guess like politely or nicely, you know, like keep it civil, and that that you can do that, but also sad because I was like, that's like talking to a stranger almost, like I was telling you, kind of reminds me of like the scene from La La Land.
Yeah,
you know, they look at each other and there's no hate, but it's just like this happened. This was a person I shared something meaningful with and special, and it's nice that I can still, like, even if it's not explicitly, I can still show like my appreciation for them. But yeah, it's bittersweet. I thought it was bittersweet.
It reminds me of going back to countries you've been to where once it felt like home, and now it's not like you hate the place, it just doesn't mean anything anymore. Like,
dude, like I was telling you, like that's the whole thing of like why I made the I'll Never Leave Here, the video project I made recently, of like, it's this place that I've had like many memories with. I had mixed memories with this place, and going back there being like, wow, just like looking back and everything is the same, but some things have changed. Like some of the streets were cleaner. There was a market like right next to it, and like I was like thinking, none of the people that work in this building, none of the people that live here, they don't know me. They don't remember me, or maybe it's new people. Like nobody but me knows what happened here, and just like thinking about like that experience of like how weird it was. Of like, I kind of like missed the place in a way, but also I remember the good and I remember the bad, and it's just like looking back on your past, almost like fondly of like, yeah, like this happened here, and this was a thing, but I moved forward. I moved on, and yeah,
that reminds me
part
of
the
Meet the
reason why I wanted to
Robinsons. Move forward.
Yeah, like, like keep moving forward.
That's
That's the whole point of of the movie, and that was like kind of like what I was like trying to express with I'll Never Leave Here. It's just like going back to this place that meant a lot to me, that was a big part of my life, and then just like revisiting it as an adult. And but that reminds me that applies also with like relationships. Like you can talk with people that like I was telling you the other day that my ex, the one that got her car broken into, she was telling me like, oh, I guess she messaged me because we don't talk like as much anymore. Like, of course, it's normal.
We don't talk anymore.
But who's that song? I've always wondered that.
Charlie Puth and Selena Gomez. The song.
Nice.
Yeah.
Nice.
Mm-hmm.
But anyways, like, yeah, and it's like I don't keep in contact with her, but she messaged me like saying like, hey, like. I guess the story of my car getting broken into is gonna be famous now. And I was like, wow,
right, because she listens to this.
She listens to the podcast, so shout out to her.
Mm-hmm.
And it I don't know. I think it made me. It was nice because it was like, hey, like we did share our relationship. We shared a pretty
bond.
Yeah, a bond. We share a pretty important part of our lives, and it didn't work out, but doesn't mean that we can not still like show up for each other. I was saying this the other day. Like, you don't have to show up to show up. Like, you don't have to be there present, like physically, or even there 24/7 to like be there for somebody in your life, for somebody that meant a lot to you. But yeah, boy. Yeah. Just like the song there's like the song called "Reminiscent" by the Buttertones. Mm-hmm. It's from their first album, I believe, and I like the song. I love their music, first of all, but yeah, it makes. I think there's one line that says like "reminiscent won't help me," because it's like, I don't know. I think it's good to like look back on the past, but it doesn't help if you get stuck in the past, and that brings us back to like the keep moving forward of Meet the Robinsons. And speaking of the Buttertones, the other day I was talking with my girlfriend. We were like just looking at vinyl at one of the record stores here, and like trying to see if there was anything good to buy, in the stores. And there's this app called Discogs, and how Discogs works is that it's like eBay for like records or like music media.
So like
and
betting, and it's like an auction.
Not
because that's how
like
eBay
for example,
works.
But you can post stuff and say, I'm selling it for this much. It's like a web market, like a marketplace type of thing. And so, oh my god! So what you can do is on this app you can browse through like artists and like their releases, and you can make like a wish list of I want list. I want this. You can make a list of all the vinyls that you want, different releases, and you can see the different sellers, the different options, the different pressings, the different releases. It's pretty cool. And you can make a want list of what you want. And then if there's anything available, the app notifies you, hey, this version of the vinyl that you're looking for is available with this seller, or this is no longer available. And you can also build a collection, so you can like keep track of the records that you have. And it actually tells you like the estimated value of the record and of your entire collection. So I think my collection is worth like around $2,000.
That's not bad.
It's crazy to think about. Like, I spent like $2,000 in records, or my records are worth $2,000. But the point is, like, it's a pretty good act to find rare vinyl, like really like things that you cannot find because maybe somebody in the internet has it and you can buy it off of them, or you can buy it from different sellers. And so the Buttertones, they're my favorite band. They've had different albums in the past, and I discovered them 2022, I believe. And at this point, like they were in a hiatus because the band had some controversy that we've covered in the like our first episodes, and so the band took a break. but which meant that most of like their label dropped them, and and like most of their stuff became rare because you didn't know if the band was going to come back, and they were not making any more of the stuff because of everything that happened. And so I never got around to like being able to buy merch from them because I never lived through like the peak of the band, like I don't know, like their golden era, I guess, or something like that. But a lot of the albums I like, and it's like, dang, like I would love to have a vinyl of this, but I'm not gonna be able to get it because they're not gonna sell it. But through Discogs, I've been able to find the records that I want, and see how much they're worth. Some of them are like worth like $100. Like there's an album it's this EP called For the Head and the Feet, and it's $100.
Nice.
And it's like, I love the band that I would buy it, but it's like, that's a lot.
That's a lot of money.
And there's this other one called American Brunch, one of my favorites too, $100 as well. And there's like different releases of their different albums, and they're worth different prices depending on the seller. But it's upwards of like $30, for some of them. And it upsets me because like I want to buy it, but like I'm gonna,
Can't you trade?
Yes, but like, what am I gonna trade? I love my vinyls. Like
there's
I'm not,
nothing
and
that,
I
like,
don't
you
think I have
have
anything.
extra.
I don't have anything. I have a Salad Days by Magna Marco, but that's like super common.
But I'm thinking something you can
common.
start doing is maybe when you go to vinyl stores, get the cheapest stuff you can, like, and then maybe you can trade, I don't know, 2 records for one that you really want or something like that.
It would depend. I don't know. It would really depend if I found something rare. Like, for example, the other day I was at this record store here, and I found Uncle Jazz on vinyl.
Gosh.
And it's a different. I have Uncle Jazz,
Yeah.
and I'm probably gonna put a picture of it. But it's a special edition because the vinyl is heavier, and it has the drawings on it. But this one I found is like a regular gatefold. It's really weird. I've never seen it in person, and it's really weird to see Men I Trust vinyl in a record store. That's super rare. Because from what I understand, Men I Trust releases everything independently.
Yeah.
They don't have a label, and they're not going to be signed to a label. So all their merch, all their stuff, they sell it. So we see records of Men I Trust at a record shop. That's really weird. And I found it at the used section. So I'm like, who's stupid enough to sell Men I Trust? Why would anybody sell it? Why would anybody sell it, first of all? Especially because it's like a really nice record. It's a really nice album. And it's a really nice quality vinyl too. And it was like $50. I would have bought it because I really do like the album, and I would have framed it or something because I already have it. But it was $50, so I was like, but I can't believe somebody sold it. But yeah, it was really weird to like see it on a record store. Because I was like, yeah. But anyways, going back to like the Buttertones, there's this couple albums that I really want called Midnight in a Moonless Dream and Grave Digging. And I have seen them on Discogs, but I'm like, they are kind of like, they're not expensive, but it's like,
Overpriced?
some of them are. Not overpriced, it's just like, they're used and stuff. And it's like, I would buy them. I don't have no problem buying used vinyl. I have tons of used vinyl. But for some reason, I've never committed to buying them. Even though I really, really want those records, I've never committed to buying them. And I do have a Buttertones album because when they came back, when the band started again, they did release the first album again, which I really do like as well. And so I do have that one. But anyways, I was just searching through Discogs with my girlfriend because we do that. And I saw the vinyls again, the Buttertones. I was like, that'd be cool to own. And for some reason, I was like, man, I'm just gonna see if maybe they have it on Amazon.
And they do?
And I go through Amazon, and they do have them. They have the vinyls that I've been trying to buy for like months.
Just there.
Years. And they just have them. But I think they just put them on. Because I swore, I've looked for Buttertones vinyls
And you couldn't find them
in
before.
Amazon before, and nothing showed up. They were like out
That's
of
a
stock. They
sign
don't sell
from
them.
live. You have to get them.
And so I'm probably going to try to buy them whenever I get money. Because I really do like those records. They don't have all of them. Two of my favorite ones, For the Head and the Feet and American Brunch, which I really, really love. They don't have them. They don't have it on Amazon, and the only way to get them is on Discogs, and they're worth $100. So that sucks. But the 3 other albums that I want of their other from their discography, they sell them for like $20. $20, going from like 30 to 40 to $20 is really good, and you're buying it new. So probably my next vinyl purchases is gonna be the Buttertones. It's gonna be
Nice.
So I feel pretty stupid because it's like, how I can't believe I didn't check this before when I had a lot of money and I could have bought them. But now I know. So if you want to get into some Buttertones, definitely buy some. And they just released their newest album, which, you know, that one is easy to get on vinyl. You can get it on their shop. But the fact that you can get their earlier stuff, because the band was like really gonna be over, you know, like it seemed like it was gonna be over, just like the Growlers, the other like rock band,
And then they just came back.
They haven't come back.
No. And
I think that band,
and then they just came
the
back.
Buttertones did, yeah, but the Growlers I don't think they're gonna come back. Yeah, but their vinyls are rare as well. Like I did go when I went to the Dayglow show in Kansas City, I did see Growlers records and like their used and rare section. And I was like, this is rare because like the band is not gonna come back. Like it seems all signs indicate it's not gonna come back. So stuff like that is expensive. So I guess my recommendations, like I guess just like tip, is use Discogs. If you're into vinyl, use Discogs because you're gonna find like really good stuff if you're looking for rare vinyl. But yeah, that's my experience. That's some of just what I've been doing. But we're gonna talk about you now because you have your song. Your song is released by the time that this is.
Yeah, this was foretold. This was foretold in one of our latest episodes. I gave you guys a date. I told you hopefully 8th of November. It's too late because today's 14th. But I told you if not 15th, the latest. And the song is coming.
Today's the 14th.
Today's the 14th.
And so tomorrow the song is gonna release. And by the time this episode releases, the song will have be out for like a couple of weeks. So tell us about. Give us a spoiler talk. Give us the whole process of how you came to this decision of how you wanted to make the not only the song but also like the cover art.
Okay,
and, like, design.
So
and, like,
talking
everything.
about this song, the song is called 20, and I composed it. Well, when I turned 20, that was a really dark day for me. I don't like birthdays, and usually, like once I went from 19 to 20, I just thought like a season of my life was like disappearing, you know. And so that day I was really, really sad, and I was wanting to, you know, just like quit to everything, if you know what I mean.
Log off the chat. You know?
Log off, yeah. I was wanting to log off the chat. But Valentine told me like, hey, how about you make a song, you know, like my best friend. And I was like, well, I mean, she was really rough about it. She was like, hey, you can stop crying about this and instead make a song.
Stop being a little bit.
Yeah. And I was like, I guess so.
And make some music.
And so I made the song in like 30 minutes or something. And then I said goodbye to her like that midnight, and I spent most of my morning till like 6 a.m. Finishing it. Or at least finishing what I thought was a demo. But funny to think that 2 years later, I didn't really change much. Like, if anything, I just re-recorded everything with better quality, but I didn't add or take away any sections of the song. Like, the song is just as it was when it was born. So I made the song, and 2 years later, I'm finally going to release it. How do I feel about it? I don't even know. I've been thinking and mulling this idea over for so many months. I don't want to say years because it's only been 2 years, but they've been 2 really eventful years. That I guess like I got used to the idea that one day I was gonna let it go. As of right now, I'm nervous because I am stressed over the fact that now, once this song is out, I don't have an excuse. Like I have to keep posting songs. You know, like I have to keep going.
making songs.
I cannot postpone it anymore because I could.
You already said it was gonna happen.
Yeah.
Like you can't, like for example, today's the 14th. You cannot say I'm not gonna release it anymore.
Yeah, like I could, even if I wanted to, like I cannot cancel it anymore. Like at this point, the song is coming out tomorrow.
Dude, that's kind of like terrifying. It's just like winter is coming.
Winter is coming, and I've been wondering a lot. Like, are people going to like the song or not? And at this point, I've realized that I don't really care. Like, these songs, fortunately, have not been made for others, but for myself. And
that's
really
what good art should be.
Yeah, and I'm really happy with the product. So that's that. Now talking about the cover, the process has been insane. We've been taking pictures. We had a nude session. We had to go with a drone and like look for pictures in the city. And not many people have seen the cover. Like I've been really, 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 really private.
I have not seen the cover.
Even Emmanuel,
I have
like,
not seen the cover.
Like you were my best friend.
I've seen the.
You've seen the components,
I've seen it separately, yes, but I haven't seen it all together.
So now you're about to. I'm about to send Emmanuel.
I am about to see the
cover, and I don't really want to send it to you, but I'm doing it anyway. I don't care. So you're about to. Well, it's too big. That's what she said. So I'm gonna take a screenshot of it.
Oh my god!
All right, here we go. Ready?
We're gonna put it on the screen as well because people.
Yeah,
people
but by
already
this
seen it
by
now.
this time it'll be fine.
Yeah.
All right, it's not the big. It's not
you're
like a
gonna- you're
big
gonna-
thing, but I'm happy about it. I'm happy about it. Ready?
He's gonna hear how much I hate it.
All right, I just ended
life. Why you send me a picture of your dick?
of the cover.
Oh. Okay.
That is the cover.
Okay. Dang, yeah. Oh, okay. I've. You have released like promotional images
Yeah.
before, like leading up to this release, and so I don't know. I guess I didn't think that it was gonna be like the sky was gonna be like the same color, like literally the exact same like, shade of blue. Like it's not bad. I like it, and I do like. Yeah, I know. I like it. I like
It's
it.
good.
Yeah,
I like
kind of
it.
makes me feel like I don't want to say like professional, because like it is professional. Like you are releasing music, but it kind of makes me feel like it would be something that would be like released with like a established label, to, like, if that makes sense.
It feels
like,
serious.
It's very
It
good.
feels very serious.
That's what I mean. Like it's good. Like I like it.
Something that I really like
Yeah.
is when you zoom in into the body. Like if you try to zoom in, it feels like it's a painting, like a Renaissance painting or something.
Yeah,
like
because
that.
it's like
the
like the
colors,
textures and the grain.
skin,
Yeah.
And
Yeah, I'm zooming into
nakedness,
it right now.
like nudity in general is not a very modern thing anymore.
It's very artistic.
It is very artistic. So that is the cover.
I do. I told you this before, but like the when I seen like the rough drafts, I like the shadow. The shadow. Like I think that adds a level of like
Depth.
appreciated detail. Yeah.
So that's that.
I mentioned this too, and you can go more in depth into this. But when I first saw like what building you were hoping to use, and the idea, I told you, hey, this feels a lot like the cover for
From PDB.
PDB.
Yeah.
The first song that you made with like your first musical project that actually kind of like brought us together, and like I really like that song. But I told you that, and you were like, yeah, I guess so. But do you want to go more into?
So here's
detail
the
of
thing.
that?
Here's the thing. I've always, ever since I can remember, I've always had a fixation with the sky, with like, I don't know, just like above, I guess, and with floating. I don't know. There's something about it.
Now, quick parentheses. Did you see that Olivia Rodrigo said that that a red flag for her is when men want to go into space? She's like a turn off by men who want to go to
I
space.
do want
First
to
of
go
all,
to
it's like
space. I would love to be
it's
an
like-
astronaut. It's like my
what's
failed
wrong with
dream.
that? What's wrong with that?
I
Like
don't
I
know.
don't know. I think it's cool to like explore. I personally don't like have a desire to go into space. Like I'm dying, but I don't think like how is that a red flag?
Maybe because it reflects that they are people who maybe daydream a lot and they're not here on Earth, but instead they're like
I
thinking
think
about
yeah,
unreachable
something that she was
places.
saying is like they think that they're meant for greatness, and like I can see maybe that.
I don't
but,
think
like,
I'm meant for.
I don't
greatness.
think all people who want to go to space is like are immediately toxic. I don't know. Maybe she had a bad experience with somebody who was like an intern and NASA. I can't blame them for that.
But
anyways,
I hadn't heard about that. But anyway, and so when the first song, like with the first project with Isosceles, we did that. We told Valentine, actually, the same person who did the artwork for the podcast. She gave us some ideas, and back then I had just been watching Avatar a lot, like by James Cameron.
Yeah.
And so I was really obsessed with the floating mountains, and I just thought, how about some floating mountains with some astronauts and stuff? And then Camilo, which was my bandmate back then, he sent a picture of a building that he took in Cartagena, I think, or some coastal city.
I didn't know that.
Yeah.
I thought it was in Bogota.
No. I think it's in Barranquilla or Cartagena or something like that.
Yeah, someplace, some other city.
And so he sent a picture, and so we made the cover. Like that's what we did. That's what we made. And when
I like
the collective that I was working with for this new cover, like they showed me their first idea, I just thought, I don't like it. And they were like, why? And I was like, because it's just what in Spanish we call a reencauche. It's like the same thing as the first
like
cover.
a remake.
But then they told me, well, I mean, yeah, but like both ideas came from your head. And if after years you're still thinking about this, maybe you can think of this as now your own personal view of what floating looks like. Because the other one was a 3-person job, like Camilo, me, and Valentine.
Yeah.
But this one
and
was
also,
just
I think there's something to be explored. And if I guess my interpretation of it, it's like the one for like how you're saying, PDB, that was like a collaboration that was made with other people. And it's 2 astronauts. And it's like it's very like, indie pop. It's very like like it has like charm to it. It's like fun. It's like it has a lot of bright colors and everything. And you were at a younger stage of your life then. You were just
full of
starting out,
life,
like,
full of color,
full of life, full of dreams. Type of stuff. And it's like now it's still the same, but you've matured. You're different. This song talks about growing up.
Yeah.
And like how scary and like awful that can be.
Mm-hmm.
And here you are. Same, maybe like a building that looks pretty similar. Same idea of floating, but you're naked, you're vulnerable.
Yeah.
You're older. Maybe this is not as colorful as the other one because you've grown, you've changed, and I really do like enjoy. I think that's like really cool.
Yeah, I feel like once people know a little bit more about it's gonna be very poetic. Now, you didn't ask, but I'm going to explain a little bit of the cover or of how it came up.
Cool story, bro.
Yeah. Who asked?
That's what it started.
So I got the idea this year. I was in my house and I had to go to the restroom. So I got off my bed and went running to the restroom, but I got up too fast. So when I got to the restroom, as soon as I like opened the door, I lost. No. I didn't cut myself. I was blind for a second. Like,
I hate like you got lightheaded.
Yeah, I got really, really, really lightheaded. And there's a little window on my bathroom, on my restroom. And I was looking straight up at the sun, but with little things I could see because I was feeling really blind.
Yeah.
And then I just imagined like a person floating, like a shadow floating, almost like in the Harry Potter, the Half-Blood Prince scene where this girl gets possessed. And I just thought like that's the cover, like that has to be the cover of something. And so I told a collective and I started thinking about it, started looking for some pictures in like Pinterest, and I was trying to find out why I wanted to make this cover be the way it is. And I think what you said, it's very on point with what I was, I guess, like looking for or aiming for in the sense of, it has to do with, one is growing up, but like, here's the thing, like, imagine yourself being on top of a building, floating completely free from the effects of gravity. Naked, like everybody can see you. That is scary. And you're floating without control. That is also really scary. And if you think about it, if gravity for some reason were to start working again, you would fall to death, which is already bad in and on itself. But now you're falling naked. Like with little pain you're gonna feel, it's gonna be much more intense as if you were wearing stuff. Like nakedness hurts, like exposing your skin. It hurts.
That can be interpreted so many ways. Like nakedness hurts. Like not only like from an emotional level.
No, physically,
like being like exposed, but also like physically, like that. Damn, let him cook.
Let him cook. So that's a little about what it is, like. And there's more to it, and I'm not gonna say it right now. Although I could, but I could explain it in like interviews or stuff. But here's the thing: like, if you guys know what Narnia is, Narnia, there were like I think 7 or 8 books, and on the first one. They talk about dwarves and how they live underground because they're scared that one day gravity is going to stop working and they're going to float to sky and disappear. And when I read that, I was still in high school with you, and we had to read it for school. And that fear just completely kind of like, how do you say that? Like imbued itself in my heart. And I just started like, I cannot.
You're short as a dwarf.
I am.
You had all the reason to be scared.
And never since
maybe I should have asked you to
probably
pick up stuff for me from the top shelf.
I could have helped you. I have my way to get to hide things, Anyway, so that fear, like just ingrained is what you said? Ingrained in myself to the point where nowadays, like if I were to go outside right now and look straight up to the sky, I cannot. Because I feel fear.
No balls do it.
I have to hold on to something because I feel like all of a sudden my body's going to start floating. And so I just thought that really stupid, irrational fear from when I was a kid has been translating into me thinking all the time about people floating and all these things.
Yeah.
So that's basically where the I guess like song comes from or the cover comes from. Also because I guess turning 20, it's starting into this new world. It's like almost feeling like gravity doesn't affect you anymore in the sense of time doesn't feel the same way, like it starts feeling very limited. And so that's the cover, and that's it. Any more questions?
I really like it.
That's good.
I guess I like that you shared a little bit more. I do think, and we've talked about this, about leaving some things of your art up to interpretation, because I guess you don't want to feed the audience, the answer. So I think that's good. I think you've given out a map.
Yeah. Because if there's more
But the
questions,
real
I can
treasure
always
you
answer,
will
but-
find at the end.
Yeah.
Yeah,
So that's
but
it.
there's something nice about. But no, I'm seeing the cover now for the first time. It's way more blue than I thought. Like I said, it's I didn't know there was gonna be this shade of blue. I didn't know it was gonna be blue.
Yeah.
I think there was a version of it was gonna be in black and white, right?
Yeah, it was like when I had the vision on the restroom, it was black and white. But it when the collective asked me for references, the first one I sent was Submarine by the Marias. And so I guess like they took that to heart and they just made it all about being very similar to Submarine, which I'm really happy about actually.
Yeah. I was saying to you earlier, I liked that you were like some of your promotional pictures, they worked because like you put it with music of the Marias and it just fit like the shade
everything,
of blue.
the shade of blue, the like aesthetic, the sound environment, everything. It was very on point.
Odd point.
But yeah,
that's
what it is.
I think people should know now that they know that you can find it on Spotify,
Deezer, iTunes as Lirølhaus, Lirolhaus. The song's called
so
20.
definitely like go check it out. This is the start of a beautiful thing.
I hope so.
Yeah, I do like that you finally released a song, that you had this goal and you made it, and I like that we're really, it feels like we are taking steps of I guess making the things that we've been wanting to make for a while.
Yep.
And taking that. Yeah, I know. I guess I'm saying this like I'm proud of you. I am proud of you, son.
Dad?
I am proud of. Yeah, I am. I'm just out here trying to support this planetary
guy,
artist. This planetary artist I'm trying to support.
Talking about talking about planetary artists, I'm getting the tattoo.
You're getting the tattoo.
Yeah, like
when are you getting it?
When?
Yeah, when are you
December.
getting it?
Because I need to get paid.
Like, are you? No, do you have a design plan now?
Yeah, like I already told my tattoo artist, like, hey, we're getting this, and he was like, okay, sure, why not? So it's happening.
Wow, well, it's happening. We're definitely gonna have to make a video on that. And you have to show it, but you're cutting it close because we recorded that episode in December.
Yeah,
we recorded that episode in December, so you're kind of close, but
that's how I am,
Yeah. Well, yeah, that's been good. That's good. Well, I guess before we wrap up, like, what have you been up to lately?
Mostly Lirølhaus.
What are you? What have you been up to? What are you gonna do?
Getting everything ready. I had to make the score, like what we call a lead sheet, because if I want to register the song for like copyright stuff, I have to post the score. So I have been making that and working on future releases.
The music sheet?
Yeah, like the music sheet. So I did that. Mixing a lot of stuff for the podcast, being sick at home, trying to skate again, and looking for jobs. I'm sending new CVs all around because I don't want to be a teacher anymore. So I've been looking for jobs. And
so if you know anything, hire him.
If you know of anything, I have a C2 IELTS, so I can help. And that's pretty much it. That's what I've been up to. I'm in like, I don't know what else. Organizing my life,
Getting your things together.
Getting my things together, retaking some habits and deleting some habits that I don't like, and trying to put everything back into place.
Trying to grow.
That's
good.
Mm-hmm.
It'll be different.
Yeah.
But it'll be okay.
Mm-hmm. How about you? What have you been up to?
Well, like you said, I've working on the podcast stuff. That's been a pretty big thing for me because I feel like I've been doing a lot with like the episode, like just like content and stuff, and like trying to like do that, and also like working on some personal projects. I'm really excited because this past week I've been really working on some of my like script ideas and like some projects I can film. I feel like I've been really, I guess, creative is what you can say. I've been really creative.
I'm still excited about the idea you told me about and you haven't shown me.
I told you, I've told him this other day. Like, I have this really cool idea for a story, and I was like, just for posterity reasons, I'm telling you this now, so that you I don't know. I'm really excited. I'm probably going to share more about it later on because I'm still working on it and I'm still trying to figure it out. But I think a clue is that when it comes to like filmmaking, I feel like a big challenge for some people is like feeling like they don't have the resources to make a certain thing. Like feeling that, oh, I cannot do this because I don't have the best cameras, I don't have the best audio, I don't have the best
gear,
whatever. And so I feel like that stops you sometimes, or like intimidates you from making art. But and that's fair, But I came up with this concept that would completely allow me to, not even think about that. That I guess gives me a pass to like not worry about that. And so I'm gonna be working on that. So I've been, trying to develop that, and also like working on the podcast stuff. And I did go to like recently. I went to the Lunar Vacation show on a Halloween. It was fun. I would say that I was not as much as a fan. Like I liked them. I did like the album that they made, but I wasn't as much of a fan. Like I think that you knew them before I did.
Yeah.
Like you were a bigger fan than I, but I was still really excited for the show. And it was fun. Like it was a fun experience because we got to go. We just got to go. It was like on Halloween, so you had to show up in like a costume. So I went as like this mix of Dr. Octopus and Spider-Man. I was one of the Superior Spider-Man, which is like a mix of the Dr. Octopus and Spider-Man. And then my girlfriend, she went as Wirt from Over the Garden Wall. For those of you that have seen it, she made the costume herself too, so that was pretty fun. And yeah, it was fun. I like going to shows here. And the band, they were dressed as Scooby-Doo, like the cast of Scooby-Doo. So that was pretty fun too. And we also, I will say, like the show, they had 2 openers, and like the doors were at like 7, the show started at 8, and they had 2 openers. And man, by like the end of the second opener, I was like really tired. I was like really, really tired. Like my back hurt. I was like, am I getting old? At 21 years of age, am I like, I can't do this. And here's what I'm gonna say. Like, I guess some context is like for background. It's like there was 2 openers, and the 2 openers were from here, from Omaha, and I was like, hey, that's cool because there's like artists that I have never heard of before. And I was like, I wanna get a chance to talk with him. Like, have we done like we've done in other, with other artists. And so what I did is I found their contact online. And I was like, hey, like, would you guys like to like? I messaged them separately. Yeah. Like, hey, like, would you guys like to like? Can I interview you? Like, we're this project, we're an independent podcast. We like to talk to artists, and like such and such and such. Like, we love to do this with you. We'd love to give you an interview. And it was 2 bands. One band we're not gonna mention because they didn't want to be a part of this, and we're gonna get into that. But the other band called Settling Houses, and the first band that we'll just call it Unnamed. I messaged them. And Unnamed makes like a type of like shoegaze music, like very like punk rock.
Okay.
And I was like, I actually, I think it's like kind of cool. Like I enjoy shoegaze. I'm a shoegaze person. I love watching my shoes, and so I was like, I was like that's cool that they're gonna open for them. And then the other band, Settling Houses, they reminded me of Peach Pit because that's kind of like that type of music that they make. And so I messaged them both, and then later in the day, Unnamed, I messaged them on Instagram, and they just said no thank you and like 3 dots, and then just sent me a glass of milk emoji.
What is milk?
What does the milk mean? Like first of all, I'm like, what the frick? Like yeah. I'm just like, what is like I'm like, I don't know. I guess I was like, I just responded to them. I was like, well, thank you. Like, still, like, thank you. Like, just being nice. But then I'm like reading that, and I was like, I don't know what their intentions were. Like first of all, I showed you the message, and I was like, maybe it's just me, but it kind of came off a little bit rude.
I think
like,
it was
just
rude.
The way
I saw it. I thought, yikes.
Like it was kind of rude. Maybe I'll just put the screenshot of it. I'm still gonna cover it up. But I'm still gonna put the screenshot. You can read this, and you can tell me what you think. Was it rude? I think that the thing we will never know, I guess, is because, you know, through text you cannot read the tone or the intention.
Yeah.
So I'm gonna give them that doubt, the benefit of the doubt in that, because like I don't know. But upon reading it, like at face value, it kind of sounds like no, thank you. You know, like it was the worst thing on earth for us to like talk to them about them.
Yeah.
You know? I mean, maybe it's just me, but if anybody wanted to ask me about like my project, I would be happy to share.
Mm-hmm.
But what do I know? What do I know?
Mm-hmm.
We're just a podcast with 100 followers.
Yep.
You know. But what really bugged me, I guess, is like, what does the milk mean?
Yeah.
Like, what is the glass of milk? I
thought
really
the
try to
meme,
like look online.
He needs some milk.
But why would they? What
I
would
don't
that?
know. You need some milk.
What would that? How does that play into it? I was trying to look like things online, and Jose, he was like, it seems from like their page that they're like into cats or like stuff like that's just part of like their vibe, you know, like their aesthetic, you know. I was like, maybe it has to do with that. Like maybe that's just like instead of sign like best wishes,
they just send you milk.
They just send you milk. So it's like, you know, why do what a normal person would do? You know, make sense. So maybe he said that could be it. And I was like, fair, that could be it. Totally be it. I did see this other. I was trying to look for definitions on like the Urban Dictionary. I was like, some people say that, oh, milk, like they're milking, like in the sense of like they're trying to take advantage of you in the sense of like, oh, you're just gonna milk me for my reputation. Like, I don't know, like that's a definition I saw. Like, so I was like,
I guess that makes
is that what
sense.
they're trying to?
But they think too highly of themselves. If they think we're,
I was like, if they sent me the glass of milk because they were like, oh, we're like you're just trying to milk us, bro. And I'm like, well, you can believe that, and you have the right to not want to participate on our podcast, and that's fair. But it's like also like, like, who are you? Like, with all due respect, like, who are you? Like, tell me that. Like, you are an independent musical project. Mm-hmm. You of all people should know that, like, hey, it's nice to like support other people.
Yep.
And I guess that's what we're trying to do here with the podcast. Like, we don't care, like, however many followers you have or don't have. Like, we still like want to support you because I feel like that's just the nice thing to do. Like,
because you're part of the planet.
Because you're part of the planet. It's like yeah, I guess it was kind of rude. If they really did mean it as like, oh, you're just trying to milk us, I'm like, if I wanted to, man, I would go with like somebody with like, I don't know. I would
like
go
there's
to like
nothing
freaking,
to milk.
Like, oh, okay, that damn. Like,
I said what I said.
If I wanted to like milk somebody, like if I was trying to like get clout from like get advantage from somebody,
yeah, that sounds better.
I would go to like I don't know. I guess a more established artist. I would go to like Wallows.
Yeah.
I would go to like Tame Impala. I would go to Alfie Templeman. I would go to somebody else. You know, if my goal really was to like gain status or like followers, I would go with somebody that has, you know, more than, you know, 10 times what I have. So, but that got me thinking. Like, I feel like if what they meant was like, if they were really like, I guess like how you were saying, like they think really, really highly of themselves, like, hey, there's nothing wrong with some confidence. But if it comes out of pride, I think that's dangerous.
Yeah, I feel like,
because man, like look at
continue.
Because like look at Dayglow.
Yeah,
he's a man. The man is like he's made it. Like without a doubt, he's made it, and he's like really talented, and he deserves all, you know, what he's done. But what I love about him is that he's still like a down to earth guy, and you can see it. Like he loves his fans, he loves the show, and he cares about the people. He's always like taking pictures with fans, and he's like he like replies to like people like on the internet. Like if they do a cover of his song, he like, hey, it's like, hey, you know, I really like this, and with us, like,
even with us,
I knew that he replied to fans, but he did it with us too, and I'm like, I think that's like a really nice thing because it's like, hey, maybe the unnamed didn't want to let us interview them.
Yeah.
Maybe they didn't want to let us interview them, but Dayglow liked what we did.
Yeah.
He liked the review that we did. And it's like, I guess that speaks a lot. And then the lead singer from Lunar Vacation, she stayed after the show to like talk with fans, and she like, people were like lining up, and she talked to all of them. She talked to everybody who was lined up there. And like I asked them like, hey, can we record like you saying a message to like our listeners? And she was like, yeah, let's do it. And she did it. She messed it up the first time because she said the wrong thing. And she was like, oh, did I mess it up? I was like, yeah, but that's fine. She was like, no, let me do it again. like that goes a long way. Like that goes.
It shows.
A long way.
Yeah, I feel like it shows.
That speaks
something.
a lot of you as a person. I feel like if you put positivity into the world, it'll come back to you.
Yeah.
You know, they did not. Dayglow and you know, I think their name is Geb. They didn't have to do that. They didn't have to do that, but they wanted to because they cared. And honestly, I feel like that's a good thing. I've been looking at a lot of stuff about Narwhal recently. How about like, man, like he's just a really nice guy, and like he really cares about, you know, people, you know, that he interviews and stuff. And he's been treated all badly a lot in the past, but man, like I guess, and I was watching this interview, him saying like, hey, when I interviewed Nirvana one time, nobody listened to it, but you know, now I have like all these things now, so like don't worry about it if like, you know, you get rejected and you get shut down, because in the end, like, you know, you just gotta keep going, and you know, results will come at. Wise man. Indeed. Man.
Plus, like now that you bring it up, I've seen an interview from Narwhal where he was interviewing Justin Trudeau, and even the freaking prime minister, dude, was nicer
of
to him.
Canada,
Canada was nice to him. Like he played the games, he did everything he was supposed to. And then there's other, I don't know, like freaking, I don't know, Lil Uzi or somebody who thinks too highly of themselves. And it's like, dude, like honestly, what you were saying, like what you do and like what you pour on your community, I guess like that's what you get back.
That's what you get back. And like you can see that. And for example, he did this interview on Sonic Youth, and they were like mean to him. They were like bullying him, and like that was like really awful, and like breaking the gifts that he got for them. And like now, honestly, like who's gonna remember them? Like yes, they were pretty impactful, but like, do you want to, like, is that all you want to give? Just good music? Is that what you want to be like? Remember, like, oh yeah, they had good music, but they sucked as like people.
It's like no, you gotta be an integral artist all throughout the way, like on your craft and also on who you are, which I guess brings us back to one of our first topics, which is separating the art from the artist.
For separating the art from the artist. And like with that, like I still went to the show and I still like saw Unnamed open, and I will say it was very loud. I was like right up front, and the music was just like very, 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 very loud. I'm not kidding. Like very, like it was like a, not to be rude, but it sounded like the static of a radio.
Yeah. For
like 40 minutes. It was just like for like 40 minutes. Which like, I heard the songs on Spotify. I think they sound better on Spotify, because like I feel like I could understand, like with shoegaze, you know, the music is typically louder than the vocals, but like I could not hear it. Every time the dude spoke into the mic, it just sounded like he was muted.
Yeah.
Like I could not hear a thing. And like a lot of people, they were visibly like
angry and upset.
Uncomfortable and disturbed. Like they couldn't hear like the music. Yeah, like I guess the music was cool. Like they seemed to enjoy it. But like my girlfriend is like sensitive to like loud noises. So I was like, man, like there was like this daughter with like her dad. She was like covering her ears, and it just made me sad, because it's like Lunar Vacation is not this type of show. They're not this type of show. They do have like some kind of like rock, shoegaze songs, but they don't have like this extremely loud, disturbing music at the show. I just feel like a contrast. It just felt like a really hard contrast, like a whiplash of like, I would have picked, regardless of the band, I would have picked a different band. I would have picked like Unnamed to open for more of a, I don't know, I would have picked for them to open for the Buttertones type of thing. Or like more of a rock, or like Acid Ghost type of thing.
Acid Ghost,
Lunar Vacation,
Slow Pulp, all of those bands.
The music was really, really loud. I could not hear it. Like my ears were ringing for like the next 20 minutes after they were playing. I'm not even kidding.
Yeah.
The music was really, really, really loud. They seemed to have a fun time. They enjoyed themselves, so that's good for them. You know, they had a bunch of pedals. You know, but to be honest, I don't think I was able to hear the difference, because it just sounded like static the whole time. But yeah, but on the upside, the other opener, they were like, let's do it. Let's do that interview. Let's talk. And they were really nice. And we had a really nice conversation with them. And I really did enjoy their music. And I feel like their style of music did go on, did match better with
what Lunar Vacation was doing.
Lunar Vacation. Like, it was really fun. They're really chill dudes. I think by the time this episode is out, the interview we did with them will be out. It was a really nice conversation. I had a really fun time. And like, man, like once again, like they probably do have a bigger reach than we do in terms of like audience and stuff. Like they've been doing this for longer, but they still were like, yeah, man, let's do it, because like they appreciate, you know, the
gesture,
the effort, and the care, the gesture. Yeah, like it's support independent artists, trying to support independent artists, and I will always believe that's a good thing. You know, but we went into like a big tangent with that, but yeah, that was what the show. That was pretty much what the show happened. Oh, and there was this dude. So like when Lunar Vacation came on, I was really tired. Like I will say, I was really tired in the show, and I was like, I'm really excited for when it ends, because I was like, I just want to go home. But I really had a fun time at the show. It was like really fun listening to their songs live, and I did become a bigger fan. But when
Lunar Vacation,
when we were at the show, like Lunar Vacation, a lot of people were, it's because it was a bar. Some people were drinking, and there was this dude. Like I was like right at the front of the stage. There was like this dude right behind me, and he just kept yelling and like saying, "Yeah, woo!" and like making comments. He was like a heckler, but I guess a positive one, because he wasn't like booing them or anything or like saying mean things. He was like, "Yeah, let's go," but he was doing it so often, so loudly, in the worst moments. Like there were times he was singing the next line before they even sang it, and he was just making jokes. Like the first time, like they thought it was funny, but I could tell like they were like a little bit annoyed, because like for example in like slowed ballads, this dude was just like making comments and like yelling, and I'm like, dude, shut up! I came to hear them, not you. And it's like, I feel like that's disrespectful. Maybe you're not doing it out of a mean place, but like this is their show. They're in the zone. Don't bring them out of like that place. And that special place of concentration. Like, would you like it if like this dude just like kept yelling things to you if you're playing like a sad song type of thing? I don't feel that's nice, because I think that's disrespectful. And there were a couple people that were just like very loud and annoying. And I was like, just have some respect for the musicians, you know? If you want to be loud, just go to a bar. You know, there's like a bunch of them downtown. You can pick any of them. Just, if you came here for a show, let the people play the music. And if they want to play loud music, hell, let them play their loud music. But at least show them some respect. But that guy was annoying. And then I found him on Instagram because they reposted some of his stories. And I was like, wow, this guy, he's the same. Everyday life, he's just the same. And I was like, I guess some people are happy with that. But
surprisingly.
This has been a long episode.
Really long
this has been a long episode.
But it's been fun.
I feel like this has been a good episode. I think this has been my favorite episode. I feel like every time we do an episode, it becomes my favorite episode. Like, I feel like we're getting at a level where we just keep getting better at it, you know? And so that's good. That's good. But we got to wrap this up. So, Brian. What have you been watching and listening to?
Watching Peaky Blinders. Finished the 4th season this morning at like 2 a.m. So I have to start the 5th and last one, I think, it's only 5. Great show. So yeah, Peaky Blinders. As for movies, Pixar movies, because a friend of mine gave me his Disney Plus account. So I've been rewatching a lot of that stuff.
You finally got it.
Yesterday I watched The Incredibles, and I started watching the Acolyte from Star Wars universe.
I have not
seen it. It's good. Like, I decided to restart everything. Like, I'm going to start restart all the shows, all the movies, and the first thing you have to watch is The Acolyte. So I've been watching that, and that's that. As for music, I've already recommended this before, but I'm still losing my head over it.
Are you going to say Murphy's Law
by Marlon Finacci? That's one.
Oh
from the Buttertones' latest album, Judy Do a Spin. Probably my favorite song.
You like that one?
Of the album.
Was that your favorite
song of the album?
Like I said, I was surprised that you liked the album.
At the beginning, I was like,
as much as you did.
But then after I finished, I was like,
it's very experimental.
It's so good. So I've been listening to that one. Lots of Carambas always. And maybe something new or something that I don't often listen to has been a lot of rap. Like, what kind of rap?
Really? Like hip-hop?
Like Ice Cube, MF Doom, that kind of stuff.
Wow.
Like
there's only one beer left.
Send me a meme, and I was like, that sounds nice. And so I looked at a playlist of rap, and then my students at work.
Did you listen to Tyler the Creator's
Chromacopia? Not yet,
album?
but I will.
Yeah. if you're into that, if you're listening to that rap right now, you should probably listen to it. I enjoyed it. I enjoyed the whole. I was telling you this the other day. This whole man's vibe, I'm into it. His whole aesthetic, the way he goes about things creatively, really cool. Really, really.
I gotta check it out. So
yeah.
Once I check it out, we could maybe do a review on it or something.
Yeah, we could probably talk about it because I definitely feel like I'm not as experienced with rap.
Neither am I.
Just dipping my toes, but yeah, I thought it was a good.
I like the cover
for sure.
It was a good cover
For sure. The whole creative direction, masterclass, very good.
But yeah, how about you? What have you been watching and listening?
I've been watching a lot of movies recently. I guess first of all, I just finished The Penguin this week.
Show?
The show out of the Batman. Yes, you gotta watch it. All of you have to watch it.
Isn't that on the
really
same universe as Batman with Robert Pattinson?
It is the same universe. So if you like that movie, you should definitely check it out. You're gonna love it. And then I also watched this week. I watched Heretic. It's this movie released by A24. It has a huge gang in it, and it's basically about these two Mormon missionaries. These two girls, they go on a door-to-door, I guess, like visit, and they talk to this man, and he traps them inside his house, and he basically gives them a question of faith of like, basically the whole movie's him trying to make them question their faith. I'm not gonna say anything more than that.
That
but
sounds
the movie,
amazing.
I really enjoyed it. You would
Where
like.
Where can I
that
find
movie
it?
Because it's on theaters right now. It might be in theaters
Like in
Colombia,
2 years,
because
everything takes super long.
That's true. But hey, with bigger releases, they have been releasing them in Colombia, so you could check out. You could check it out if they have it. But as people that come from like religion, you and I think it brings up a lot of good things to ponder and think about. But it's a good movie. I think it's very respectful to religion, because I feel like a lot of movies and art try to like bash on it. And hey, like you like your experiences and your takes on it are valid and they're yours. But I like that since this is a bit of a sensitive subject, I do think that they were respectful with it. And I'm not Mormon, so I wouldn't really know. But from what I perceived,
it didn't feel mocking,
treated with like respect.
mockful.
Exactly, like some other type of media and content could have been. But I watched that, and I also watched yesterday. I watched Anora. It's this other movie. It's released by Neon. It has. Did you watch the Scream movies? Like the newer ones?
I know about.
But anyways,
them.
it has one of the
horror
starts. Yeah, it has one of the like this. Oh, I guess up and coming star, and it's a movie about this escort who marries this like really like the son of like a really rich like Russian guy, and so she's an escort, and she meets this young kid like 20 something just like her, and he like hires her for like a night, and then he's like, you know what, and they spend more time together, and then they decide to like, you know, elope and get married. So the movie is about her. It's almost like it's been described as like a Cinderella type story, because it's like, oh, you know, this girl from like different background, you know, is married now to like this really rich. And I thought the movie was good. I enjoyed it. Had a fun time. You should definitely check that one out too. But those are my recommendations, or what I've been watching when it comes to movies. And for music, I don't think I've listened to like a specific album or an artist, but with this creative project that I'm coming up with, as I said before, I like to listen to music before and to like, you know, get inspiration, like, you know, figure out the vibe and the theme. And I've been listening to these two songs. I guess these work as clues for what I'm working on. But one of them is Pantyhose by TV Girl. I've listened to the song before, but when I listen to it in the context of the story that I'm working on currently, I love it. I think it's a great song. I think it talks it's fun. It's like very fun. It has like a fun beat, but it's got like sort of like sad and depressing lyrics. And I don't know, I think it talks very nicely about like boyhood and like, you know, maturity and stuff like that. So Pantyhose by TV Girl. TV Girl's amazing. Definitely check it out. And this other one, Flowers by Red Pears. They were in Omaha recently, and I missed them, and I didn't know. I had no idea. They literally played like a block away from where I live, and I didn't know because I'm an idiot. But Flowers, it's a really nice song. It's very nostalgic. It's like a very nostalgic like indie rock. Definitely check it out. I think once again it fits very well with like the theme of the story that I'm working on. So these are clues. I'm literally dropping clues of what I'm working on. But yeah, that's what I've been doing with music. Well, I'm listening to music. But yeah, that's it. Anything else you want to say? Where can we find you?
As MR Cortesito. That's MRCORTESITO. Same thing on probably Twitter and other social media. And you can find my musical project as Lirølhaus, LIROLHUSSS on Instagram.
What about Spotify?
And on Spotify, I mean, right now you can't, but by the time this is out, you can find me as Lirølhaus, LIROLHUS, and the O has like a little bar in the middle. Yeah. But I don't think it's gonna matter if you don't put it.
Yeah, we're gonna put up like.
Yeah, we're gonna put
everything
in the screen and on the socials and stuff. How about you?
Yeah, me. You can find me on Instagram. Brian just worked on the screen, so all of you.
I did. Where can we find you?
You can find me on Instagram as Emmanuel Pulnia, and on Twitter he just did it again. And on Twitter you can find me on _thatcolombian_. I'm also on Letterboxd as That Colombian. If you want to see what I'm watching, you can definitely look at it there. But yeah, that is it for this episode. Thank you for sticking with us for like, how long has this been? How long is it so far?
2 hours and 57 seconds right now.
Oh, I thought you were going to say 2 hours and 57 minutes. I was like, man,
no.
Somebody needs to
now we're in
shut
2 hours and 1 minute and 5 seconds.
Somebody needs to stop those men from japping. But yapping. But yeah, thanks for sticking with us. This was a good episode. Don't forget to rate the show. Tell us if you hated it. Tell us if you loved it, or just send us a glass of milk. I still don't know what that means.
Milk,
but I would appreciate.
If you know
that.
what it means, let us know.
Yeah, we should make that. We should make a sticker of a milk at this point.
I like that. But I could get a tattoo of milk.
A glass of milk.
I'm not gonna promise on it, but I could.
I think we should do a poll saying like, what does the milk mean? We should like put the query.
We could. Let's
like,
do it.
What is the milk? When this episode releases, we're gonna do that. All right, let's not forget that.
What is milk? So yeah, don't forget to support your planetary artists.
And that's it. Have a good one. See you next time.
Have a good one.
Bye.
Bye.